Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time for current events in the online fitness community. And this is the most requested video I've had for the last week because I covered Jeremy Ethier's Part A and I actually gave it a lot of praise and actually said it was pretty good, his Part A of his workout. And people said, hey, what do you think about Part B? A lot of people have asked me to cover this, and it looks like he put it out around a week ago. So I should probably go ahead and get around to doing this. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Now, the thing is, we look at Part A, and I actually gave it a lot of praise. And I actually said I'm surprised that a guy closing in on 1 million subscribers on these trendier channels is actually putting out a decent workout. That's unusual, and I actually thought it was pretty good. I gave it props. The only thing I laughed at was the dumbbell hamstring curls. It's like, all right, this is getting a little bit ridiculous here. And though for those of you who are unaware of what I do, I am more interested in strength and conditioning. This is not a bodybuilding channel. I'm not a bodybuilder. I think bodybuilding is silly, ridiculous, and borderline homoerotic. I'm not a fan of it. But I understand the purpose of hypertrophy, and that for anything you're trying to do that's strength related and even athletic related, you usually are trying to maximize muscle size through your entire body. You are trying to be well developed. And so that's always take home of what I do. I'm very, very big on that we do need to be as big as we can be within a weight class or for whatever we're competing in. And in the case of this, I was looking at his workout A and I thought, hey, this is actually pretty good. You can get pretty big, pretty strong doing this. I like it. I gave it props. I thought his exercise selection was really, really good. I thought it was balanced. Again, barring the hamstring curls, I'm like, he needs to put a hip hinge in, which he did in workout B. Now, what am I going to say about workout B? I'm not going to be so kind. And the reason I'm saying that, Jeremy's lack of experience of dealing with real lifters is showing here. His lack of experience coaching people, his lack of experience working with athletes is coming out very strongly in Part B. Like if I looked at workout A, I wouldn't necessarily think that. I would be like, okay, this is pretty good. Workout B, he completely dropped the ball. And he made some major programming and exercise selection mistakes, and he misinterpreted some of the research. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand how to perform some of these exercises or what they really are because he's been following internet trends. He's following the trendy bodybuilding stuff and not actual strength and conditioning research where he's actually getting his research from. He's not looking at what coaches are really doing. He doesn't understand it. And when I look at his workout B, I do see why, because he's got a decent upper body development. He's actually doing really well for his amount of experience. For being a drug-free young guy, I think he's doing really well there. I'm going to give credit for that. But his lower body development, his squat, all that stuff is lagging. He definitely has posterior chain weaknesses, things like that. He is weak, and he needs to work on that. And you can tell that he's lagging. He's imbalanced. His lower body strength and muscle is not caught up to his upper body. And when I see the workout B, I understand why. His exercise selection and the reason for picking them is actually bad. And that's, again, it's in lack of experience on his part. And that's okay. We all learn over time. It doesn't mean that he can't bring some valuable things to the community, because I like that he's promoting full body training 3 days a week. I like that he's promoting big exercises and progressive overload. That's important. As far as the deadlift goes, I agree. Deadlift's great. But your audience is mostly novice lifters. They need to be doing conventional deadlifts. Hell, I train sumo and conventional both. I own a trap bar. I don't want to see novice lifters building a base on a high handle trap bar. And I'm not saying certain types of field athletes shouldn't be doing it, because actually there's certain types of field athletes who that actually would be prescribed. But for people who are trying to build their base, which is going to be 95% of his audience do not have a base. I promise you, they wouldn't be watching this guy if they were already had a base, right? They wouldn't be watching this guy. And so this is for novice lifters. And people are going to say, what do you mean by a novice? For me, I describe someone as a beginner who needs to stay on a beginner type program. If you can't bench 225, squat 315, deadlift 405 as a healthy young man, you're a beginner. You need to be following beginner programming, which is what his audience is geared toward. That's what his workout A appears to be. That is a beginner's workout. And it was actually a pretty good one, right? Pretty good one for his workout A. So it's for his target audience. This workout B is not. This workout B is going to produce very suboptimal gain. It's going to leave you imbalanced. The deadlift, here's the problem we come to. You don't give novices 3 or 4 sets of work sets on a deadlift. And this is where his experience is showing. Every single coach who works with real people, what do we do? What does every person do with their first and second year lifters? They don't do 3 or 4 sets of deadlifts, and they don't do high rep deadlifts. Every single successful novice program runs usually only 1 set of heavy deadlifts, and they don't do sets across. The reason for that, novices can't recover from it. They can't handle it. They don't build up enough workload. They don't build enough tension on it. They're not able to handle heavy enough weights, and they don't recover from it. It beats them up. It beats their recovery up, and it reduces what they can do for the other lifts on the workout. And that's kind of the problem, is that he throws all this deadlift volume in, and that's probably all you have in it. That's it. You're going to bury your novice lifters. You're going to bury them with that. And that's why he has all these goofball, shitty exercises thrown in afterwards, which is what the rest of it is. The rest of the workout after the deadlifts is literally nothing but fuck-arounditis. It's fuck-arounditis. So let's go over to it. He throws in incline dumbbell. I don't think the incline dumbbell is a bad exercise, not by any means. And he pointed out that one advantage, there is one advantage using dumbbells over barbells, and that is that you can get a deeper stretch. Most people don't do it that way, though. And in all honesty, if you wanted to do a barbell, I think it would be better for the novices. You're going to get stronger. You're going to be able to handle more weight. And the novices are not going to go deeper on dumbbells. They're not going to go deeper than they would touch their chest with the incline barbell. That's the reality. Watch them in the gym, and he didn't discuss that. The importance of, if you're going to bother to use a dumbbell, of going deeper. However, that's for training like a myotatic reflex for people who maybe have a lagging chest development, right? That's why you would do that. Novices don't need that. Novices need to get big. They need to be moving heavy weight. So he throws in an incline, which I wouldn't necessarily do that. Again, this is a novice type routine. This is for guys who are still building a base. And don't get me wrong, guys. You guys have seen me incline like 315 before. I did it years ago. I don't train the incline though. It's not my lift. I don't even own an incline bench at my home gym. And I don't think that you need it for upper chest up here, right? I don't do incline work. And I'm not a bodybuilder. I do bench press, I do floor press, I do dips, and I do the standing press. All right, he has the bench press and the standing press in there in workout A. The standing press will build your upper chest. It will also be helped by the weighted pull-ups he has people doing. That actually does work the upper chest also. If you go all the way down, their upper chest is going to be just fine. You don't need an incline. You don't need an incline. The other problem I had with what he said is that it has to do with better unilateral development. That's a myth. That is absolutely not true. I've done numerous videos explaining that dumbbells will not fix unilateral imbalances created with a barbell. They won't. They won't do it. It's a technique issue. It's training imbalanced and training incorrectly that causes it, not the fact that you use a dumbbell versus a barbell. And someone who develops an imbalance with a barbell would have developed the exact same imbalance with a dumbbell using the same technique. It's just because they don't know how to perform the lifts correctly. That's what causes it. So that's the problem there. I mean, so I would say, look, I don't know. I would have gone back with just another bench press or overhead press or both. I have a free novice program. I just put out, again, a new version of it, and I have people bench and overhead press every workout. They do both. There's a reason for that. But that's fine. If someone wanted to do this, that's okay. It's not the worst exercise in the world. I would still rather them use a barbell than dumbbells. His next exercise, I have a problem with, Bulgarian split squat. He does not know how to perform this lift correctly. The way he demonstrates it is the trendy bro bodybuilder fluff and pump gym version. That is not a Bulgarian split squat. So if you want to refer back to research on the Bulgarian split squat done with strength and conditioning coaches with rugby players, do you think they were doing what you did, Jeremy? Do you think they do it with dumbbells and their feet up and their foot way back up on a bench? You think that's not a Bulgarian split squat? A Bulgarian split squat is performed with a barbell on your back in a squat rack with a block on the ground behind you, usually 3 to 4 inches tall, that you put your foot way behind you on. What is this bent knee thing you're doing? That is not, absolutely not, what the Bulgarian split squat in the strength and conditioning world was developed as. You're absolutely doing it incorrectly. Your leg is straight behind you. Your knee is not bent way up in the air on a bench. You usually have it on a block, and it's done in a squat rack with a barbell. All right, you can think that this is going to carry over to your squat. It isn't. And unloading the back is not good. This is the problem we come to where people start saying, man, my back is becoming a limiting factor in my squat. Yeah, it's doing shit like this is what causes it. People doing leg presses and one-legged work. You need to just get people back under a barbell. Again, every successful novice full body program that has ever been written by good coaches has you squat all 3 days with a barbell. All right, and if you're going to perform a Bulgarian split squat, what's the purpose? Why? It's done for people who are already doing like 20 sets of squats a week and they can't recover anymore because they can't handle any more axial loading. You don't have people doing 20 sets of squats a week already. There's no need for this. You do not need to unload their lower back. You do not need to do it. They need to continue to train a normal squat. This is absurd. And Jeremy, this is why your legs are lagging. This is why your squat is lagging. This exercise has no place for a novice. And the way you're performing it, that's silly fluff, bro bullshit. You can talk about science or strength and conditioning, but that is not it. All right, that is a bullshit, waste of time exercise, what you're doing. You're not going to get big and you're not going to get strong doing that at all. Completely wasted an exercise slot. Garbage lift. The way it's being performed. Not saying a split squat for adding additional leg work for someone who cannot handle any more axial loading because they're squatting 20 heavy sets a week already or 30 sets of squats. I get it. You and your lifters are not doing this. This exercise has no place. Up next, the inverted row. Again, waste of time. Waste of time. Where these things, well, it takes the loading off the lower back. You already don't have enough loading on the lower back of your people. Furthermore, are we trying to increase our deadlift? Are we trying to increase our muscle through our entire body? Rows should include hip work. You already have an unloaded upper back exercise. You have the pull-up. You have the pull-up in workout A. Why are we not utilizing the posterior chain on our back work for workout B? Why aren't we? You do realize that you have benefits to this. You're going to shortchange their development. It's perfectly acceptable to learn to use the thoracic or lumbar sling with posterior chain involvement, being able to use your hips, being able to engage your hamstrings slightly, being able to engage your spinal erectors. This is where you want to do that. This slot here is where you need that. You already have an upper back exercise in workout A that doesn't utilize the erectors, the hips, the hamstrings. Why do you need a second one? You've already got it covered. Again, you should have had them do a standing barbell. Again, we don't need new equipment. We don't need to find benches. We don't need to get a Smith machine or anything else. They can now just row off the floor, right? Have them do a pen lay row. That is what should have been in this slot. Again, lack of experience working with real athletes, not understanding the importance of training the back with the posterior chain together. So again, this is examples of why Jeremy personally is lagging in that area. That's why he's struggling with those areas, and people who are going to follow his program are going to struggle with that also. Then we come over to the other stuff. I don't have a problem with direct tricep work because he doesn't have enough pressing, because he has 2 presses in workout A and just one kind of fluffy press in workout B, just dumbbells. Yeah, so triceps probably do need more work in workout B. Why are you quoting those EMG studies? A kickback is not a particularly good exercise. It wouldn't be your good choice. That EMG data on the long head is questionable. If you decide you need an exercise for the long head, and I don't disagree with that logic, all right, if anything, the long head may be getting a little bit of lagging because all we have for it is the overhead press. All right, so fine. You need to be focused on not shortening the head. The long head, you need to be focused on a stretch reflex. We need to get a myotatic reflex in that muscle. You need to, if you're going to throw in a smaller movement, you need to do some sort of skull crusher to where you get shoulder extension, or you need to be doing it behind the head if you want to recruit that long head maximally. You're not going to get it from these kickbacks. The kickbacks, again, another bullshit bodybuilder exercise. Again, that EMG study, the one that you're citing from like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whenever it was done, I know it's one he's doing, it's questionable. Extremely questionable, and I don't know anyone who really utilizes that. As far as other stuff goes, Laterals, I think laterals are fine, done correctly. I think they can supplement a training program just fine, how I've been doing laterals myself lately, just to help with my shoulder girdle development, improving my standing press. I think they're fine, done correctly. I don't like that he didn't discuss how to do them safely. Maybe he doesn't know how to do them safely. Because again, done incorrectly, done the way bodybuilders do them, it crushes the glenoid in your shoulder joint. That's not good. It will lead to injury eventually the way bodybuilders do it, because bodybuilders are dumbasses for the most part. Cable flies, all this other bullshit, waste of time. You should have done more bench pressing. More bench pressing, do some dips. Do some weighted dips. There you go. You don't need these silly ass flies. Are we trying to get novice lifters big? Or are you trying to refine some lagging body part? Big exercises. Get them big, get them strong, get them thick. This sort of silly shit is not how you do it. All right, if you wanted another chest exercise and you don't like the ones you already have, throw in some weighted dips. Problem solved. You don't need these silly ass flies for novices. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.